Let me explain. Let me explain something. Check this out.
You've got to be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change.
Check this out.
What's up, everyone? Happy Friday, and welcome to NumisMeeting 11. Well, we can't see you here. I'm looking at zero. It's just me and Aaron is all I see on the Twitter app. It must be something Elon's up to, maybe a new bug that he introduced with the kitchen sink. But it's great to see everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being patient with our shop talk here. But yeah, why don't we just kick things off? The theme for today, the theme for NumisMeeting 11 is really about Dubai. Just kind of recapping, Dubai and the implications of the World Blockchain Summit that we recently came back from, and really just using everything we learned and all the networking we did out there as kind of like a jumping off point for potentially I don't want to call it a pivot, semi-pivot maybe, but kind of a an alternate path forward for us, right? But before we get into all the updates that maybe folks already know about, if you've been listening to the initial few minutes of this space, why don't we kick it off with a little bit of market updates from kind of a macro standpoint. Mr. Pappy is usually so great with these market updates that I'll try to do him justice. But unfortunately, he's unable to attend today. So, just looking at the macro crypto market, right? From a BTC and an ETH standpoint, things are looking kind of surprisingly good. We've recaptured a key support level, and we're well above the 19.8K region, and that's holding really well for Bitcoin. Similarly with Ethereum, we've gotten some really good support. We do see some bullish crosses on the 10-20 EMAs, and we're also seeing a little bit of kind of a macro narrative that's starting to support the case for Bitcoin truly coming into its own as perhaps a store of value, right? And one of the reasons that narrative is coming to fore is that we've historically been seeing Bitcoin really tightly correlated with the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, which are two of the major indexes for stocks, equities, right? For the stock market in the U.S. at least, and that's recently kind of been breaking down. That correlation's been weakening in terms of volatility. So we've recently seen Bitcoin and Ethereum become less volatile than the stock market. That's a great, point one. And then point two is we've started to see a tighter correlation or a higher correlation in terms of volatility between BTC and gold. And so that kind of starts to set the stage for that store of value narrative coming into the majors, right, with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And what does that mean, though, for Noom and NumisMe? Well, we do track ETH, the ETH price, ETH price, pretty tightly with Noom. And what this really means is outside of any external forces, if that narrative continues to be supported, we'll see a rise in the price of ETH, which will naturally make the price of Noom go up, right, alongside ETH. And that is something that we're really hopeful for. And once we pour on some of those external, factors like the marketing, co-marketing, and partnerships that we'll hopefully be able to announce soon, that should help us overperform ETH, and that'll make the price of Noom go up a bit more quickly or a bit more drastically than compared to the price of ETH. So we're really looking forward to getting back to those days where we were overperforming on the price of ETH. Those are some good days. Unfortunately, the bear market is what it is. But one reason to keep hope alive is all these different ways that we're starting to see the market shift. It does also set the stage for a potential end to this crypto winter, to the bear market, right? Not saying that that's guaranteed. And in fact, there are plenty of analysts out there that say crypto winter is long from over, and those type of analyses tend to go hand in hand with the folks that are really expecting much more pain through 2023. But really, that pain those analysts are talking about in terms of the equities markets, in terms of the stock markets, right? And so, if we can see a little bit of a decoupling, a sustained decoupling of the majors, BTC and ETH, away from the stock market, and a little bit tighter coupling with, say, gold, and or becoming this alternative safe haven asset, right, to hedge against inflation, especially with the uncertain monetary policy going forward around the globe. That is actually something that could set the stage for a real bull run for BTC, ETH, and really, all crypto, right, including us. Well, I should say all quality crypto, right? There's a ton of digital assets out there, and we're just one of the digital assets. But there's a much smaller subset of all those assets that are quality projects that will, will not only track the overall performance of BTC and ETH, but hopefully overperform, right, in terms of price action. So we're keeping hope alive for that. Meantime, we're not stopping. We're not waiting for the bear market to end. We're not stopping with all the activities that we have going on. So I was hoping, Aaron, what do you think? Shall we kind of kick it off with project updates? Maybe we can talk about Goblin Town a little bit before we get into kind of the nitty gritty of Dubai and all the great things happening out in Dubai.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've seen some interesting like activity with the Goblin Town community. They've definitely, I think, some people in their community and maybe even some of those that are more connected with the team have definitely taken some notice of what we're doing. I've definitely had some following and some likes on some of the tweeting that was very focused around the Halloween contest, which is good. And I mean, hey, even if it doesn't spark off a lot of activity, it's good to know that we were able to reach people in the space that are doing great things as well, and who are legitimate projects in the space, and get some notice as being a genuine project, and being a genuine team behind the scenes, and having a real community backing us as well. So that's been a really fun experience. We've certainly seen a good bit of action in our vaults that we feel is in direct relation to the contest. The buys are there too, more infrequently than our vault distribution, but the biggest thing that is kind of in the scope right now is the art from our community is starting to also come into the scope here and being shared with the community. We're getting ready to set up the submission tweet for that shortly here, and that's made this really fun. In fact, our current profile pic here for NumisMe, if you see with the pumpkin head there on the NumisMe, that is one of our community members' art submissions. So it's really cool to have seen this contest from beginning to end, and see the interactions that we're getting from our community, from the Goblin Town community. And it may not be, you know, we may not be in a position where we've reached them in a way that's gotten direct mention, but ultimately we just wanted to show our appreciation for their project and give our community a good opportunity to be a part of that, and also get a better position here at NumisMe. And I think to some extent we succeeded there.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Ami Tools. He is the community member slash artist who submitted this piece of art, the Goblin Town concept art. that we're using on our Twitter PFP for NumisMe. So please, if you guys like it, if you guys and gals like it, feel free to give Amy Tools a little bit of love in our Discord and our Telegram. Actually, I'm not sure that Amy is in our Telegram, but he's definitely in our Discord. So please feel free to give him a little bit of love. He's put some great work into this, and to be honest, it looks legit. Like it looks like something that would come from and be a part of the core Goblin Town NFT collection, to the point where, hey, we wouldn't be surprised if the crew over there were to tap on Amy's shoulder and ask him to start contributing to that project. That would be super cool to see. Just saying, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, for anybody, right? From anybody from Truth that happens to be listening to this Spaces. I don't think anybody's live. I can't see any of the attendees still, which is quite strange, but if they are listening to the recording. But yeah, Aaron, you make really good points about the traction we've gotten with the contest so far. And just to recap for everybody, just a friendly reminder, right? This is a contest that is currently scheduled to end on Halloween, which is just a few days away. So time is running out to get your entries in to win a Goblin Town, Illuminati, Grumple Trap, Burger, Goblin Trap, Grumples. I don't even know how to say those things, but time is running out, right? And
The
so just wanted to
double burger grumble trap.
double burger Grumple Trap with cheese Royale. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
yeah, sorry, please. I'm a little bit of an NFT noob, so please forgive me and Aaron on that one. But just a reminder, time is running out, and so you still have time though to get in on the contest, and there are three ways to enter the contest, right? We are giving away the highly desirable traps, the Grumples, the unrevealed, fairly high rarity NFT to folks that buy Noom. So for every $50 worth of Noom that you buy, we'll give you one entry to win. And right, these entries are basically going to be put into a raffle, and we'll pick the winners. But every $50 of Noom that you buy will get you one entry into that particular prize pool, of which there are three. And if you are buying Noom to enter the contest, we highly urge you to stake that Noom for at least 12 weeks. And what that does is when you stake your Noom that you buy for this contest for 12 weeks, we'll double your entries, right? So if you buy $500 worth of Noom, you get 10 entries, right? If you stake that $500 worth of Noom for 12 weeks, we'll give you another 10 entries. So you basically double your number of entries instead of 10 to 20. I think my math is right on that one. Yep.
Oh,
And yeah. And so that's prize pool number one, right? Prize pool number two has to do with our vaults. And that is basically for every $50 that you deposit into our vaults, which come with no lockups. It comes with, you can withdraw at any time. For every $50 that you deposit into the vaults, whichever vault you choose, I personally like the stablecoin vaults, but whichever vault you choose, we'll give you that one entry, right? And really, a good way to make sure you're making the most use of your vault deposit is to buy a little bit of Noom, and that allows you to stake your Noom to boost your vault rewards, right? And by buying the Noom, you're actually entered into prize pool one. So that's kind of like a twofer, right? If you're going into the vaults, it makes a lot of sense to go buy some Noom, go stake that Noom, and all of a sudden you have an entry for the vaults, you have an entry for the Noom buying prize pool, and then if you stake it to boost your vault rewards, we'll double your entries into prize pool one, right? And then finally, we have prize pool three, which has nothing, there's no requirement to buy anything. There's no requirement to deposit into the vault. Prize pool three is solely focused on the artists out there, on the creatives. We're just asking, hey, submit what you think your vision of a Goblin Town NFT looks like. Like, what would you, if you were the artist creating these NFTs, what would it look like coming out of your brain, right? As long as it, adheres to the Goblin Town style, and the branding, we think that we'd love to see more entries there, right? And that's just a fun little way, right? It comes with no cost other than time. If you are kind of creatively inclined, artistically inclined, that's a great, easy way to get into the contest. And actually, we don't have too many entries into artistic competition in the art submission prize pool 3. So, there is a good chance to win there. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing with Goblin Town. So just wanted to let everybody know there is still time. Um, we are considering extending it for a bit, right, Aaron? I'm not sure if we're ready to talk about that just quite yet. Are we?
I mean, the possibility exists, especially if there's like a demand for it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And ultimately, I mean, there certainly should be, because realistically, the opportunity that's at everybody's, been laid at everybody's feet is a chance to basically 10 or 20x their, investment in the project by earning one of these NFTs. It's really, I mean, Truth Labs is supporting some of the most popular NFT projects in the space, and just in a short period of time they've accomplished so much. And the floor price for Goblin Town is just about 1 ETH right now. um
Right, and to be clear,
and,
the ones we're giving away are above the floor price, right? Because we are giving away higher rarity. So,
mhm.
to your point, Aaron, that's a really good way to look at it. Is hey, my minimal investment, right? If I invest $500 into the Noom token and then go stake it, I get 20 entries, right? My potential return on that is pretty massive. Figuring you could win an NFT that's worth like 2 ETH, and that's a pretty good return on investment, in my opinion.
Yeah, and of course, like, it doesn't even take into account the future change in price on the token, or the ability to generate yield on that vault position. So, I mean, overall, like, it's a no brainer for me. It,
Right
if
on.
I wasn't a team member, I would be I'd be participating on every level. Even though I'm not much of an artist, I would be like, well, here's a great opportunity for me to even like give it a shot.
Yeah, me too. I would. I'm not artistic. My thing would be like a stick figure. Probably wouldn't even qualify. But yeah, but it's a good thing we can't enter it anyway, Aaron. We aside from our dismal artistic skills, it's a good thing we can't enter. We're not allowed to win as the team. We are keeping this as a community only thing. That is the only fair way to run this. So just so everybody knows, none of the team is qualified and will be exempt or blocked from entering these contests. So it's a pure community play. We just wanted to support Goblin Truth Labs. We wanted to give a little bit of love to our community, and in the meantime, maybe get a little bit of activity on our price charts and our Vault TVL. Which, by the way, I should have probably given this update at the top. Um, is doing pretty well. We're seeing from a price action standpoint on the Noom token, we're about up 25% on the week. Our TVL is up. I don't have that percentage increase off the top of my head, but our TVL in the vaults is up, and our staking rate continues to climb, which is great, right? We do have 17% of Noom locked in, staked, and that's up from about 14%, 14 and change, from about 2 weeks ago. So we're seeing the system working, right? We are seeing not just organic Noom being staked, but we are also seeing rewards, right? The rewards that Vault users and liquidity providers earn in terms of Noom, we're seeing those Noom rewards getting staked. So the system is working, right? The incentive to earn that ETH for your staking is there, and it is driving staking rates to go higher. And so that's a great bit of everything is going in the right direction. Those are great metrics to be tracking. So yeah, so great. So that's Goblin Town and project updates. And so now, why don't we talk a little bit about what we did at World Blockchain Summit, Dubai, why we were out there, and potentially what we're hopeful for to come out of all of this in the near future. About a week ago, a little over a week ago now, we a part of the team made our way all the way over to Dubai, and that was a minimum 20-hour travel time, and for some of us it was 25 hours, so it was no small feat to get literally from the US to as far away before you start coming back towards the US, as far away as you can possibly get on the globe, like almost like the other side, like 180 degrees from where we are. So we made it all the way out to Dubai, right? And what we did out there was our primary mission was to get in front of the World Startup Competition, right? We went up on stage at the World Blockchain Summit and we competed. We pitched the NumisMe project in front of a panel of fairly esteemed judges, and we were in competition to get picked as the winner, right, and be entered for a chance to get into a $1 million prize pool for the final round of the competition, which happens in San Francisco. And it went really well, right? Misam, our founder, got up on stage. He did a great job. We got to get some really good feedback from some of the judges, and they really, two of the six judges actually told us straight up that they picked us as number one. Unfortunately, they kind of got outvoted because there were two of six, and we took second place. So we didn't quite win it, but we're really happy that we got second place. But we're even more ecstatic that we formed these relationships with these judges, right? Because these judges are in the space. They come from, whether it's from a VC background or running a separate project. We started those conversations. So the benefit of the competition, sure, we would have loved to have won first prize. The first place winner happened to be a major sponsor of the event, so we do have some thoughts on that. I'll let everybody read between the lines on that one. But the fact that we were able to be there and network with these folks, with these judges, that was huge, right? So that was our primary mission, to go out there. Secondary to that was we're really interested in looking at Dubai as a potential primary launch market, right? The regulatory environment out there makes it a lot easier for us to bring the mobile app, right? The mobile app that's going to digitize the physical cash that you receive as change at stores. It makes it easier, and really the translation of easier is faster, right? We can bring our mobile app to market faster in a market like Dubai because, for a few reasons, actually. One is the regulatory environment is much more friendly, right? Two is the entire region is super hungry to attract tech, innovation, and any sort of startup that is looking to disrupt existing systems and markets, all in service of helping the region transition their economy away from being primarily, based on selling oil, right, to becoming a services-based economy. And if you look at the way the US was able to transition away from manufacturing into services as its primary driver for GDP, that was predicated on the innovation, right? In more recent decades, tech, right? And that is something that Dubai, UAE, that entire region in general, they're looking to do. So we're really excited about that. And to that point, I'm proud to say that we are very confident in that region. We have kicked off the process to set up a business entity out there. We are in talks with patent attorneys to help us navigate that process in the UAE. And so we will soon be applying for a patent out there, in addition to the US patent, which is pending. And we were even more excited to really have the potential to talk to some of the relationships that we formed out there, right? Some of the banking entities out there, the payment solution providers, right? Those are all key to making this mobile app work. And while we've been doing all of that in the US, we're kind of finding that, hey, we have to restart that whole process out there, right? And the good thing about, but this all that to say, the good thing about that is we already have a playbook. We've done that in the US. And now all we have to do is find the right players out in Dubai, which we have already started forming those relationships and starting those conversations. But we're very familiar with the process. It is actually going to be easier in Dubai than it has been so far in the US. So we're really excited and looking forward to seeing where that goes. But yeah, things are in motion, right? We are setting up to really potentially launch in Dubai as our first market, and so that's the second thing we were trying to do. And the third thing we're trying to do is just get in with different projects and just network and just really start to get plugged into the crypto ecosystem, not just in Dubai but globally, because folks are from around the globe, from even from the US. We had a couple projects in at the conference with a booth that were from the US. Met up with a couple from Asia. There are a bunch from Europe, and then there were some local projects, right, that were local to that MENA region, the Middle East, North Africa region, and that was objective three, right, was to get our name out there, socialize with other protocols, other projects, and find out if there's any potential for partnerships. And lo and behold, happy to say that we consider it mission three as a success, right? Met a ton of projects out there. Don't want to really give out names just yet, but the time will come for that. I've spent pretty much this whole week not only getting over jet lag, but on a ton of calls, right? Just follow-up calls with all the different potential partners that we met out there, project partners and retail partners out there. And that is something that I'm optimistic for, right? All that with the caveat of, when it comes to project partnerships, when it comes to any partnerships, right, it has to make sense for both parties. And if it doesn't make sense for either one of the parties, it may not materialize, right? So there are a lot of moving pieces, but we are in talks to potentially have, whether it's TVL partnerships, co-marketing partnerships, or maybe it's just straight up the technology integrations, right, with projects that are in need of true non-custodial DeFi solutions. All those conversations are in progress right now. And the really cool thing, actually, and I'll stop. I feel like I'm just talking a little bit too much here, but the really cool thing that I stumbled upon just a couple days ago is one of the contacts we made out there happens to be from San Francisco, and that is where I'm based. And so met up with them a couple days ago. So, initial interest there, and there's going to be a little bit of follow-up. But yeah, just lots of good networking coming out of Dubai, a lot of good potential. And hey, we may have a NumisMe Dubai entity in the not too distant future. These things do take time. So, please don't expect us to give the next update that we're fully set up in the next Numis meeting. But, let's give it some time, and hopefully we'll have some positive news for everybody in the coming months.
I
But
think there's
yeah,
a very, very high likelihood that good news will be coming in the future. Yeah, in almost every respect that you just mentioned.
yeah, exactly, right. It's a likelihood, and that's what I want to stress here is at every point along this journey, right? We could face obstacles that can't be surmounted, or it just doesn't make business sense for us at the end of the day. It's not looking like that right now. It's looking pretty good, but I just want to put that disclaimer out there that it's nothing is ever guaranteed, right? Whether it's partnerships or setting up a business or getting a patent, establishing banking relationships, those are not guaranteed. What we can tell you though is we are excited at the progress that we're making, and the sentiment, and the positive feedback we're getting from everybody we talk to out there. So yeah, really, really, optimistic, not even cautiously optimistic, just straight up optimistic
Excellent
about Dubai.
prospects.
Excellent prospects. Prospects was is a great word to use. Yes, thank you, Aaron. Um, so yeah, so that's what we have been doing in Dubai, and that's pretty much a quick little recap. I think we shared some pictures of Nisam at the conference, and we were so busy that we apologize. We meant to send pictures like literally every day, but what we found was there's literally wasn't time. we were at the when we weren't pitching and or having meetings, we were at the booth. And whenever I was personally at the booth, I couldn't be at the booth full time, right, because of meetings and other activities that are happening at the conference. But whenever I was at the booth, it was nonstop, right? It was literally just person after person coming to the booth and trying to find out what we do. And then once they find out, they want to learn more. And then you get over that conversation, and there's somebody right behind them, right? And it was so funny that as soon as we saw a lull, like the line kind of to speak to us, like basically we went through the whole line and nobody was waiting anymore. I'd turn around to our little table in our seat to try to sit down for a second and just catch a breath. And as soon as my butt touched the chair, somebody else came up. And so it was like literally just get back up and do the whole thing again, which is great, right? It was hard on the voice. I think Wally and I lost our voices out there. But it was all worth it, right? Because that's what we're there for, is to network, get our name out there. But really, to find out, can this be a viable market for us? And it seems like the answer is yes so far. So, we did sacrifice our bodies, did sacrifice our sleep times and schedules, but we did it for you guys, we did it for the community, and for the sake of NumisMe. So, no regrets. In fact, we're going to be going back out there to finalize a couple steps in the business entity setup process. But yeah, no regrets. We're happy to do it again, and happy to help the community, build value in their token holdings.
Yeah, I can't stress like how productive you guys were out there, and it's amazing. You're still recovering from that jet lag, and it's been like a week.
No, really. Like
Like,
today is the first day that I slept past like 4 a.m. local time. I've been waking up at like midnight, 1 a.m. because midnight, 1 a.m. for me is like lunchtime out there. So
oh,
yeah, it was really tough. I won't lie, but yeah, I did get some good sleep today. Yeah, first time I've got a solid 6 hours, a little bit over 6 hours in over a week. So feeling good, ready for a happy Friday. Um, but yeah, that's what we're doing out there. Before we move to opening it up for some questions, the Q&A portion of our Numis meeting, I did want to cover off on a few other things, right? I know that folks are patiently waiting for a few project milestones, and I did want to give an update on that. So with PayMe, our self-repaying loans product, we are in active redesign phase right now. We are actually giving feedback against early, well, not too early, but we are giving concept feedbacks and refining the designs that are coming from our UX designer. And it is a back and forth process, and they are in a completely different time zone. So we do lose a cycle or two just waiting for the feedback to catch up. But things are looking really good. We are going to reboot the entire PayMe UI, and that's going to have implications on the entire app itself. And so we're going to take the design inspiration that we're building into PayMe and applying that across the board, right, onto the entirety of app.numisme.io. So we're really excited for that. So that's a key piece of an update. And we're finally ready to the second piece, the second update is we are finally ready to launch our LP Double Up program out of beta and into public, no whitelist mode, right? So that anybody can access the LP Double Up program. So at this point, it is Friday. Not looking likely that we'll get that out over the weekend, but next week we will be getting the LP Double Up program live and public for anybody to use. I know a few community members have been DMing me about when public, but yeah, here's the update for you guys. Sit tight. We are going to be launching that next week.
yeah, and for anybody who's out there as a liquidity provider, I mean, the opportunity to essentially double your reward potential is pretty much unprecedented. So it's worth it. It's worth taking a peek. It's certainly worth the excitement. I think that we're justified in feeling that way, and those who are interested, who know about it and are interested and are awaiting that, as you've mentioned, I'm sure are just as equally excited.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Aaron, do you want to give a quick recap of how that program works for folks that may not be aware?
Yeah. So essentially, instead of bringing your ETH into Uniswap and having them split it down into two separate halves, that being the ETH and that being the actual liquidity pair or the NUM token. So take that 10 ETH and split it into 5 ETH and 5 ETH worth of NUM. Bring that 10 ETH and we'll match you 10 ETH worth of NUM for a total of a 20 ETH position rather than a 10 ETH position to earn your rewards off of. So that's the opportunity that we're providing people who want to and choose to come in and bring their liquidity into with us instead rather than Uniswap, and give themselves an opportunity to earn a lot more than they would through through that outlet. Through a normal liquidity pairing scenario. So it's an exceptional program. I hear a lot of good, like I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people who are seeing this. This is a pretty novel opportunity. And I think it's just another example of the kind of, quality utility in the space and reward opportunities that we're bringing to people as far as when it comes to a decentralized finance perspective. So we're very true. We're very true to our cause, to our purpose. Like we are here to provide sustainable, rewarding opportunities to people in the space. And then it's one of our big drives, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final little piece, the final little update I wanted to give is that we did add a little pop-up on top of the Noom claim buttons, whether it's the individual Noom claim button or the claim all button. We did add a little pop-up that reminds folks that when they claim, when they hover their mouse over that claim button, they'll get a little pop-up that reminds them, hey, don't forget, you can stake your Noom to earn ETH, right? And that's we want to make sure that everybody is aware of that earning potential, because it is a good opportunity, right? And so that is live now, and that was kind of the final piece of the staking Noom to earn ETH program that we wanted to get in place before it's all fully operational. From this point on, what we're going to be doing next week is loading up the rewards, the ETH rewards for all Noom stakers. Our revenue is a bit low right now, so I do want to caution everybody to manage their own expectations. Don't expect a windfall of ETH when you do claim, right? But you will be able to start claiming ETH next week, and one of the ways to keep track of our revenue is through the Dune dashboard that we've built, and that is something that you can find in our Discord. I do believe it's have we added that link to our Discord links there, Aaron? Do you know?
Not into the Discord links. It's but it is, I think, in the Telegram info list. I'll go ahead and throw that on there now that we've got that ready for the public. Yeah, that'd be great for
Yeah,
people to have as a resource. It'll always good to check
awesome.
in on.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and so you can track our revenue there. I think the one thing that we're not quite tight on in terms of the Dune dashboard is the revenue tracking doesn't take into account our token transaction volume revenue, but that's something that we're working on, right? The beautiful thing about Dune is that it is a living, breathing thing. We can always make changes, and so we'll continue to develop the Dune dashboard. But for the time being, please, feel free to check out the Dune dashboard, see what your potential ETH returns may be. Just know that it's not the full picture just quite yet. We'll get that sorted in the near future. But yeah, so that is what we have for this week for Newman's Meeting 11, right? Really wanted to make sure everybody is aware of the Goblin Town NFT giveaway campaign. Want to make sure everybody knows that, there is still time to enter, right? It's just as easy as buying a little bit of Noom, or depositing a little bit into the vaults, or hey, if you don't have the funds, all good. We wanted to make sure that everyone can participate. So you could just submit an artistic a drawing of what you think your personal Goblin Town would look like, and we'll enter that into the drawing to win one of these NFTs. So there are these three prize pools, right? There is still time to go there. We also want to make sure everybody is aware of what we did in Dubai and why the team is so happy about the outcome and the progress we're making there, and wanted to make sure that everybody knows, hey, just because we were in Dubai, just because we missed, we rescheduled the last week's NumisMeeting meeting, we wanted to make sure everybody knows, right, that development is ongoing, progress is being made, and we continue to build, right? And so with that, let's move on to questions and answers. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask live or yeah, well, it's got to be live. I hope I can see everybody. If you do raise your hand, I hope I can end up seeing that. If you can't, if I don't see you raising your hand because the Twitter app is what it is, feel free to drop us a quick note on Telegram or Discord and let us know that you do have a question and just drop the question there. We'll answer it on the air here. But yeah, okay, there we go. Crypto Birdie has a question, so I'm sending him. Okay, Crypto Birdie, you have speaker rights, sir. How's it going?
Sure. Hi, everybody. It's good to hear all the great feedback that was just spoken about today. And anyhow, I was wondering, Mister, if you had a quick, maybe 5 minutes to hop on a call with me later on, or anytime if you had any. I kind of need help with what I'm trying to. I have some goals I wanted to reach with, using the DeFi NumisMe app, and I just had some hands-on questions to kind of like get an idea from you about doing that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, that is the most unique question we've gotten on on NumisMeeting. But yes, yeah, totally. We can do that after this call. How about that? I'll throw you a ping on DM in Discord.
Perfect. Yeah, and I really liked what I heard, and I appreciate you guys, and that's so awesome that we came in first place. I sounded like we were first place, but read between the lines, right?
Some judges wish we had been first place, that's for sure, and of course we did too. But it's cool. I mean, just having somebody of that caliber in the industry, like, give the team that much credit and appreciation, and connect with them further for, to stay in touch and maybe, continue making something happen is. I mean, I think that's probably just as, just as profound, if not more so. Just to have that kind of response.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, sure. Let's follow up after this. Happy to, 5 minutes, no problem. If it takes longer or shorter, whatever. Definitely want to make sure you feel comfortable, taking those next steps on your DeFi journey there. So, yeah, thank you for that question. And the answer is yes. All right. Do we have any other questions? Any comments? Doesn't have to be a question. If anybody wants to say anything, any feedback.
NumisMe, let's go!
Wah, wah, wah. There you go. You need a button for that. We got to get you one of those wah wah buttons.
Yeah, like the soundboards or what,
The
or
sound,
whatnot.
yeah. No, they're physical buttons that you can use to make that sound. Yeah, they're super funny. But okay, all right. Well, we're not seeing anything here live, which is fine. For anybody listening to this as a recording on YouTube, please, if you have any questions about anything we've talked about or just in general, please don't be shy. Hit us up on Twitter. Don't be afraid to jump into the DMs. Hit us up on Discord, even on Telegram. We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, that does it for NumisMeeting 11. And with that, I want to wish everybody a happy Friday and a great weekend.